Hey, what's up everybody? It's Guru from Contrast Gamers, and today I bring you a quick guide on how to complete the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon. Now, I'm not really going to go through any of the chests or the collectibles in this video because I just want to kind of make it a straight and quick video for you guys, but I will let you know when we reach a chest area, so at least you'll get that. So right off the bat, let's start off with the opening. This requires us to break a ritual in the new Pacific Arcology. So once you spawn in, head to the back of the area where you'll find a circular hive construct. And once you enter the circle, an ogre is going to spawn called the Soulfire Binder. You want to fry this guy right away. Once he's dead, it's actually going to spawn a Wrathborn trail on the ground. And you're going to want to follow this eventually till you reach a symbol. When you get there, a bunch of hive will spawn in, clear those guys out. Once they're killed, another trail will appear, and you want to follow that trail to the next symbol. Now just keep in mind both symbols will always be the same. Find out where you need to go, kill the hive. Last thing you'll know, a loosened hive spawns in, and you want to kill this. Now, whoever finishes the loosened hive ghost will actually receive a buff called the Vestige of Light, and make sure you remember what symbol you were chasing. Once you kill your loosened hive, you want to head back to the center where the construct is, and a Veil Weaver wizard will spawn in. Now, what you want to do is when you kill this wizard, a deep sight resonance will appear, pretty much where the body is when you fry it. Activate deep sight, and a bunch of little monuments will spawn in that circle of the construct. And, well, you guessed it, based on the symbol on the statue, that's the one you want to deposit in, matching the symbol you just picked up. Now, these are the symbols that appear throughout the dungeon. These are just my general identifiers. They kind of help me get by. They're more straight to the point. So, you got turret, you got flat turret. You can kind of see that. You got burger because it's round. You got sandwich because most sandwiches are squared. You have X. You have 3 dots or dots. You got pin or cone. And then, of course, you have pencil because of the center of the design. That's just kind of how that works for me, and it works for my fire team, so that is great. Now, once you complete the first encounter, I will make note that you do find the first chest after dropping down a few bit. This is kind of the general area you'll find. In the direction that you're headed, the moment you enter in, it's actually right above you, so just bear that in mind when you enter this area. Moving into the second encounter, we have Ecthar, Shield of Savathün, so our actual first boss encounter. Now, this is a big pain in the butt because you have a lot of things to do just to get to DPS. So, well, let's jump right into it. First thing you need to know is you're going to have blistered knights. So you're going to have hive knights. These are yellow bars. They're the first thing that are in the back of the room. You want to kill these guys right away. Once they're dead, an ogre will spawn in called Keeper of the Deep in the center of the back of the room, if that makes sense, on the staircase. You want to kill this thing as well. Now, once the ogre dies, a deep sight resonance will spawn in, and so you want to go and activate that. Typically, that'll spawn at the front of the room. What this allows you to do is the deep sight shows a bunch of symbols on the left and right side of the room, and so I'll show you right here. There's a bunch of plates dangling on the sidewalls here. This is where you're going to see your symbols. It's always going to be 3 symbols no matter what, so that's kind of beneficial. And there's a bunch of switches across this area. So I'm actually going to put this up on the screen right now. So this wonderful person made this map for us for this encounter. And so these are your locations. You see where there's air bubbles, like air pockets and stuff like that. And there is 5 entryways into the lower area. But keep in mind there's only one way back up, which is that big centerpiece in the middle. I also don't recommend going down that big one because it's kind of a 50-50 and may shove you right back up and you're just going to waste time. So that's kind of a pain to deal with. Once you go down and activate your 3 switches, Loosened Hive are actually going to spawn up back on the main level. Now bear in mind, every time you activate a switch, 1 Loosened Hive spawns per each one. So if you activate 3 switches, 3 Loosened Hive will be up top waiting for you. Once you kill those Loosened Hive wizards, a Vestige of Light will drop once you kill its ghost, and you're going to want to go ahead and deposit them in each totem. So these totems can be found on the upper level of the main area where the staircase is. So here's the map again, and these 3 points are where you want to go. It doesn't matter in what order you want to put it in, right? So long as you deposit that in, you're totally good. Damage phase begins pretty much right after you deposit that 3rd one, so just be ready to start blasting. Once all 3 vestige of lights have been deposited, you want to head back to the front of the room where you typically drop your banner, and a knight will spawn in. Now the Revenant Knight you want to fry because Ecthar actually has a shield. No matter where you shoot him, nothing happens unless you kill this knight. So the knight spawns a Wrathborn puddle, you stand in the puddle, and you can lower his shield. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Once you're done the second encounter, you're going to reach this area right here, and this is where you can find the second chest. It's actually at the very top of the gazebo-looking architecture in the way back here, so when you get there, you can grab the chest and you are good to go. Now, moving on to the final encounter, this is Šimmumah ur-Nokru. I can't roll my R's, so I just suck at it. But similar to the prior encounter, there's a lot of things you need to do to get the DPS. So first things first is to start the encounter, you're going to go and destroy this ghost that looks like it's reviving someone very interesting. I won't ruin it for you, but I'm sure you can see it in the video. And then once you do that, a deep site residence will actually spawn somewhere in the middle of the map. What this deep site residence does is it shows 3 points of interest on the map. These 3 points are very important because you're going to eventually dunk a vestige of light. Once Deep Sight is activated, a Hive Knight, a yellow bar Hive Knight called Vorlog will spawn in, and you actually want to kill this Hive Knight on the points, one of the 3 points. You're going to want to do this 3 times, and here's why. Once you take the Hive Knight to 1 point and you kill it on that point, a Hive ring, so just a green glowing ring, and the Taken King symbol will spawn in midair. The goal is to line them up, so you actually want the circle ring to engulf the Taken King symbol. Once that's activated, you can see a glyph appears in the sky, and that is super important. You're going to do this 3 times for each 3 points, and once you have all 3 glyphs, that's when your fire team is going to want to disperse. So there are pockets of water all up against the wall area within the main area. Each one leads to a loosened hive. And within it, behind them, you're going to find the corresponding symbol that you need to go to. Go in, kill your loosened hive, kill their ghost, and get the vestige of whatever it may be. So in this case, mine's a wizard. So I have vestige of a wizard. I'm going to go to my corresponding symbol that was in the room, and I'm going to go and deposit my buff in that one. Now, there's no timer on this, so each person doesn't have to wait for whoever. You guys can go do it of your own volition when you get there. But you need to make sure that Deep Sight is active when you deposit. Once all 3 have been deposited, finally DPS occurs. I know, like 3,000 years later, but we can finally hurt this necromancer. A little workaround when you get into it for sure, a few rinses and repeats, getting used to the mechanics, but once you're done, and it's super easy. And I hope this guide was helpful for you. So I will catch you guys in the next video, folks. Keep on gaming.